He doesn't let his disability set limitations on him. And even though they're skeptics, he perseveres and he exceeds, he thrives, which is awesome.
He obviously, isn't like many other people, just the way that he is socially, the way that he interacts with a lot of people. So the fact that he was able to come into this climbing gym and work with our coaches and work with our team and move from being a brand new novice climber to essentially a V10 plus climber today, it's just insane to see that growth. I don't think I've seen anybody in the 5 years that I've been here that has gone from 0 to 60 like he has in the past few years.
Joshua was born in Washington State, 2000, and he was a very friendly, outgoing baby. It wasn't till 3 years old, I noticed he wasn't speaking as much as the other kids his age, but he was doing other things that were more advanced than kids that age. Like he was really good with puzzles, and I noticed that he knew where all the states were. So I wasn't too concerned, but then when he was a little over past 3 years old, I said, maybe I better take him to the doctor. And they referred me to a neurologist because they said he's not speaking as much as he should. The neurologist diagnosed him with autism, and it was devastating because we didn't know what the future was going to hold for him.
Initially, I had Josh in, because my background's in wrestling and judo and jiu-jitsu, so obviously I had him doing that. I should have seen the signs. Like, this particular club was in a warehouse building at a very high ceiling, and he was far more interested in climbing the rope than he was in doing jiu-jitsu. He would literally climb up the walls. There was like a little bit of a molding on the wall, and he would grab a hold of the molding and climb halfway up the wall, and the instructor would come down and tell him to get off the wall. Eventually, I came to the realization that it wasn't his autism, it was he didn't like jiu-jitsu. Don't make assumptions about, if Josh was struggling with something, don't just assume it's just because of his autism.
It's insane just to see the thought process going on behind his head. Like, a lot of us, when we get on a climb and we fall, we just kind of get disappointed in ourselves and we get down, and we don't necessarily analyze what we did wrong and how we could have improved. But you can see that in Josh, before he even comes off the wall, he's already trying to figure out what he did wrong and what he can improve. And he does that every single time that he pulls off the ground, which is not something I can say for many climbers.
The nature of strength training is right. You got to be patient and see a longer horizon. The stronger he got, the more confidence he had doing harder problems. When you're cycling like through a season, you cut back on the lifting towards the end of the season, and like there was this one time where he was struggling with some problems or whatever, and he's like, I need to start lifting again. I'm not strong enough. Used to be, I would tell him, today's your lifting day, and I'd bring him out here and lift, and it did progress to a point where he knew what days were lifting days, and he came out and did it on his own. You're forced to be heavily focused as a competitive climber. So you can't be super distracted and being affected by, the ambient noise and all that stuff. You gotta be very focused. And that's obviously something with autism is a real, it's just an inherent challenge for people with autism, and he's very affected by, all the external noises and stuff like that.
He has to tune out the noises, I'm sure the lights, and the people around him, which is not easy for him to do.
So today's competition is a red point competition. Your goal is to try to get the highest possible score you can. They have a total of 50 problems on the wall. Your top 5 problems are what makes up your score. 1 through 50, 1's the easiest, 50 is the hardest. At the beginning of the competition, Joshua will basically just do the easy ones as a way of warming up. You try to zero in on what are the hardest 5 problems you can do. So we'll be figuring out, as he attempts the problems, where that sort of sweet spot is.
I hope he just tries his hardest, has fun with it, and that will show in how well he places in the competition, but mostly just have fun.
Joshua's, he's gotten, I believe, at 41 through like 43 at this point. He's finished those. And I'm pretty confident he can finish number 48, but, right now he doesn't feel that confident about it, because he's done several attempts on it and he's struggled on it. But I think if he keeps at it, I think he can finish number 48, and that should put him in a good position, when the scoring comes in. Was confident that Joshua could do number 48. He just had to get to the point where he believed he could do it. I think he finally overcame that sort of mental obstacle he was having, and he just went out there and tried his hardest, and he was able to finish it. So I'm really proud of him.
Last but not least, the advanced category. For men, in third place we have Ricky McFerrin. Second place, Josh Golden.
He came in second place, he persevered, and I'm really proud of him.
Yeah, Joshua did really well today. Honestly, he was only 1 point out of first, so really this is a good day for him, and he put in his best effort, and that's all you can really ask at the end of the day.
I hope people learn not to judge people based on their disability and what they're capable of, because so many people, if you say autism, this is the way autistic people are. He may sound or act or learn in a different way, but he's not any less of a person, because a lot of people treat people with disabilities differently. They're not given very much respect and very discriminated against because they can't always defend themselves. So I think it's our job to, if they don't have a voice, for everyone else to speak up on their behalf. He inspires me to not give up, no matter what life throws at you, you got to keep going and do your best. And you could even thrive,
What does rock climbing mean to you?
It motivates me because Mama and Papa believe in me.